Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing okay. I hope you guys can hear me as well. Let me know if my audio is okay. As I have been having a few issues with my microphone, but I thought I would come on here live, talk to you guys a bit about the game. I know it's quite late, it's after 10, and I don't always do like streams at this time, but I hope it all sounds okay. It was all okay. I'll probably stay on here for maybe 20 minutes or half an hour. Um, but yeah, we won 2-0 at home. I thought it was a very comfortable win. I'm really happy with our performance. I think we dominated it, we controlled the game, and really, really proud of the team with the performance. Really enjoyed the game. Obviously, it would have been nice to see more goals because I thought our performance was so dominant. I don't think they had many shots. I think it was all Arsenal. We were doing everything, and yeah, really happy with this performance. I think it's a really good one from the team, especially after everything that happened at Newcastle and West Ham. It feels like a clean slate. We can start again, and very positive result for us. And also, Saka's back on the score sheet. I know everyone knows how much I love Saka. Trossard as well, really good goal for him. But yeah, we did score in the first half. We got on the way. I've got to say, Jorginho, that was a really good move from him. I was actually surprised it was him because I originally thought it was like Declan Rice. So when I saw him do that, I was so happy for him. And yeah, I thought it was a really good move to Martinelli to Saka to create that, and I think it was really important that we did get a goal in the first half. I know when we played away there, it was a lot more difficult. I think having it at home was the right thing for us, and yeah, I thought a fantastic move from the team. I thought the lineup was really good for me. I think we had the right amount of strength. It wasn't too much of a weak lineup, so I think Arteta for me got it right in my opinion. And yeah, really happy to see Jorginho do so well in that midfield. I know people have been quite critical of him, but I think he did really well for me. And yeah, really happy with his performance today. And yeah, obviously, Trossard has been under a lot of criticism about some of his performances. Because I know that when he has started, he hasn't always made a big impact. He hasn't done an awful lot, but I feel like today, that goal was excellent from him, and yeah, I just thought it was a really good move. But yeah, really excited for him and really happy with the performance. I think Raya, when he had to make those important saves, he did that. Um, and yeah, I just think that as well, Saka, second half, a really good goal from him, really good run. I think from attack to defence, we were excellent. I think we really did everything right. And yeah, I just feel like it was a really comfortable win. Probably didn't expect it to be so comfortable considering I know Sevilla are a really good team, and it's always difficult playing games in the Champions League after, playing in midweek. But yeah, really happy with Saka and that goal he scored. Because I know this season Saka has been under a lot of criticism about, not scoring as many goals, maybe starting the season a bit more slower. So I feel like he did really well. And I think he's just got to keep his work up. I know that in the season, I think he has been doing well, and I hope his injury isn't too serious. That's another worry of mine because he was limping. I think Arteta probably should have subbed him off a bit sooner. But because I'm going to the game as well, I really hope on the weekend that his injury isn't, too serious. But I know with Saka, he always bounce backs. He really does well from injuries. He always is okay. But yeah, Saka, did us so proud today. And I thought that performance was so good. And it's good that we don't have too many injuries. But yeah, I did also want to kind of touch on a few other players in the game because I think, say, Havertz as well. I think he did have a few good chances. I think he does really have to do better with some of his chances. I'm just going to answer this as well. With Havertz, there was a really good chance, and I think it just only just went out wide, but I just thought it would have been an excellent goal. Don't worry, Phil. Oh God, United are a mess, aren't they? It's lovely to see. Thank you as well for popping in. I know it makes me feel so much better. You know, Spurs lose and United's not doing so good. Really, really happy. Yeah, I think for Arsenal point of view, you couldn't be much happier with that. I feel really positive about our performance. It was just a really good result and the performance. I think for me the performance was really important from us because it's nice to win convincingly and feel like you deserve to win, which we definitely did. But as I was mentioning, Phil, I was just talking about Havertz then, that I do kind of feel for him, I really do, because I feel like he does so much right going forward. He does the right moves and he's really good with our play going forward. And I just feel for him because he really deserves to score and he struggles to score. He gives it a go. I think he's starting to get in the rhythm of things. He's starting to shoot more outside the penalty box. He's giving things a chance, and it's hard because fans don't want to be patient with him. Fans are giving up on him, but at the same time, we do have to be positive and support him. And I think we've just got to take it game by game, but I do think he does need to really score some of his chances. Yeah, I don't think that was a great chance, if I'm being honest. He does have to score those type of goals, especially if we didn't know it would be such a comfortable win. And obviously, we are fortunate to have other goal scorers in the team. But like you said, Phil, we do kind of need Havertz to score in those moments because he did have quite a few chances. But I'd love to know from people that are watching this, what do you make of the Havertz thing? Do you think we've got to give him time? Or do you just feel like, is it going to work? Because I know a lot of fans do stand by the fact that they don't think it's going to work, and that's fair enough. I'm hoping it does. I think the signing for me is one that I originally wasn't sure on, because I know that he didn't really have a great time at Chelsea. Yes, he did score in that Champions League final, but I did know him at Chelsea for kind of missing a lot of chances. So I feel like for me, it's really important that he does find his confidence to score goals again, because we've signed him really to score goals, and obviously he's struggling with that. But we definitely do need that for sure, him to get more goals. Hello, hope you're okay. Hey, didn't watch the game, but also a lot of positivity from my fan base. How would you rate a performance? Give me a quick recap if possible. Of course, I think it was a really positive performance from the team. I don't think they had many shots on target. Don't remember a chance where they had that I thought was amazing. So I think we completely dominated the game. I think it's a really positive performance going forward. I think in the Champions League we do really well, and I definitely think it's a really good for Saka, Trossard to get on the score sheet. I think they definitely need that for their confidence. As well, Trossard's been getting a little bit of stick off fans. People have wanted more from him, and this is what he's given us. And yeah, I definitely think Martinelli, our front three, like Phil said, they were really awesome. They did a good job tonight, and I was worried about Jesus missing out because obviously he's injured for a little while and he's done really well in our Champions League run. So, yeah, like Phil said, it was a very quiet night tonight. I did see a stat on the TV, and I don't know if it was for the second half, but they literally had no shots on target and they really didn't do much. And I think we had maybe like 13. We were definitely going for it a lot more. I think our build-up play, our play for going forward was excellent, and it was like that typical Wenger football we used to see. One touch, excellent, like really fast, fluid football that we love to see. I'm really happy about the performance. I feel positive, and I think in the Champions League we do a lot better. In the league we have done good, but I think in the Champions League, because we've missed it so much, I know how much it means to the players to have it back, and I know the players will want to do really well, and especially for players that have been in the squad for a while, like Martinelli, Saka. They really know how important the Champions League is to this club, and they've really missed it. But overall, just really happy with that performance. Glad to hear we got the job done in good fashion. Thanks for filling me in. No worries, and I know the game was on a bit late, but really happy, like you said. We got that win. if a player goes off injured, refs need to let a player go shortest route to the bench, not make him walk in the perimeter. I get it if it's a normal substitution, but it's time to show some common sense. Yeah, I agree with that. And also, what was that yellow card for Saka about? Because when I saw that, I was so baffled. Like, he definitely should have gone off the short wear. I saw him just walking along the sides, and I'm like, Saka, you need to get off the pitch soon. You've got to be okay for the game against Burnley, because I really felt for him. And also with Odegaard, I saw him on when game was on. I saw him sat in a box, and I'm just thinking, I hope he can be fit for the game at the weekend. I know I've heard that he has got like a hip injury or some sort of injury, and I really, really hope that he can be back soon, because obviously I feel like we have other leaders on the pitch, but I feel like Odegaard's this calm leader that we really, really miss. And obviously tonight, it won't go down as that we miss him and really missed his play. But for me, I just can't wait for him to be back in the team. I think he's a really important player for us. The yellow was because he wanted to go off towards the bench and give the refs a bit of a lip. I mean, I think that's a little bit harsh of a yellow personally, because he got injured quite a few times. I know his ankle looked a bit sore, but like you said, he should have gone off the short way. But I feel like in today's game, referees give yellow cards over nothing. Like, you can't have your own opinion like Saka. I mean, I don't know what he said, but to me, it felt harsh, not gonna lie. I think Declan Rice as well at the end got a yellow, which I didn't know why, but yeah, it was interesting, that decision for sure, Phil. But I'm really hoping Saka's okay at the weekend, because this goal for him is definitely going to help his confidence going forward, because a lot of people said he's been a lot quieter this season, at the start of the season, and I just feel like for me, I know how good Saka is, and I feel like he's maybe more quieter because he's not had that rest that he needs. He's playing constantly, which doesn't help him at all, and we don't really have that rotation like on the bench really. I know we do have Marcelo, Trossard, Nelson, but it's really hard to find players on the same level as Saka. I do believe Nelson should get more game time, because I think he is a really good player, but it is hard really to rotate players. And I know in midfield, I think today we did good, and I don't really have many complaints, but I know when we play other difficult teams that are in the top four, like the Liverpools, Man Cities again, it is going to be tougher. We do need to find a way, but really happy we won today, and we didn't really have any big issues in that midfield. And in our attack, our front three were definitely really fluid. There were 13 fouls at least in the first half and no bookings. That is absolutely mad. I remember in the second half, the referee just gave out yellow cards, like 3 in a row. He probably made up for that in the second half, but I do feel like people probably don't realise this if you're not an Arsenal fan, but I do feel like Saka does get fouled a lot, Martinelli does get fouled a lot, and it isn't nice. And luckily Saka's injuries have never been massively serious. Like, he's never been out with an ACL, he's never been out for like a few months, and obviously that's, we're fortunate to have that luxury of him not, his injuries haven't ever been serious. But I do hope that he's fit for the weekend, because if he's not, I think we can obviously play Trossard and Martinelli, and it'd be interesting to see who we go up front. Because I know for me, Burnley should be a game we should win, and Burnley are right at the bottom. I don't know if they're 20th. I'm going to check actually now I'm talking, but they've had a really poor start to the season. Surprised how bad they've actually been, if I'm being honest, because in the Championship they were flying. I know this is a completely different league, but they just haven't been good. Yeah, they're currently sitting 19th. They've really not had a good season. We allowed one shot, otherwise it was perfect. Yeah, completely agree. I think there was a shot at the end where Rice saved really comfortably, but I don't think, like Phil said, he didn't really have a lot to do. But it was nice to have a comfortable win and not have to stress about the team too much. It is observed how much of a kicking Saka takes about players getting booked. Yeah, I do feel for Saka, and I do feel like sometimes people think Saka over exaggerates, being when the tackles get to him. I feel like people think he dives a lot, which I personally wouldn't agree with, but yeah, he does. I feel like he's a target for people to kind of get on him. But we know as Arsenal fans that he's a really good player. He's a dangerous player for us, and the reason why people might tackle him is because they know he's so good and he is a danger. So we know how good our star boy is. Is it bad that I can't wait for the Brentford game so we can see Ramsdale play? You know what? I really love Ramsdale. I think the other game he played in the West Ham one, people were quite harsh on him because he obviously, I think for the last goal there was an error, but I think in my head I know that Raya's our first choice now. But I think it's just a bit difficult because I'm with you, Phil. We both love Ramsdale. My heart will always be with Ramsdale, and I do miss his charisma, his amazing personality, and I love how much he gives it to the fans. So I do miss him, but I do hope to see him in a few games. But I do reckon, he wouldn't want to be second choice, but I do feel like this is it now, and I just think it is a bit tough, really, isn't it? Because we love Ramsdale so much, Phil, and a few other fans will too. But I think with Raya, I think he definitely is a good goalkeeper, but I'm not sure if I believe he's an upgrade of Ramsdale. But I do think he improves us in different situations. Like I know when we have corners, he's very commanding in his box, and he's great at, winning the ball. But it's hard because Ramsdale does also have some really good qualities. Saka ain't no diver. Yeah, he's not like Gooner, you say. Yeah, he doesn't dive in the way people think he is, but yeah, we really do love Saka. I think he's absolutely amazing, and just really happy he's got on the score sheet tonight. I think he's just doing so good at the moment. But yeah, I think this performance is really positive going into the game at the weekend. But we should be winning at Burnley. I really hope we do because I'm going to be there. But I just love to get behind the team and support them. It's just an amazing feeling to be at the Emirates, really. The dropping of Rami has been the worst piece of man management by Arteta, who said Raya was an upgrade. Yeah, I think for me, like, it is heartbreaking to see Ramsdale not in the team, but I ultimately am happy to see Raya do well on his team. It's really tough. I do think he's been dropped like that, Ramsdale, and obviously it has affected his confidence, I do believe, because he was doing so well up until that. He got to play for England and he had some great moments, and this will definitely affect him. But I really support Ramsdale, and whatever he does, if he leaves Arsenal, I will always support him and get behind him. But it is hard. I don't think Raya is necessarily an upgrade on Ramsdale. Do I think we can win the league with Raya in goal? I don't know, but I don't think it's just on Raya. I just think my bigger issue is probably on midfield and a striker. That's my priority, but we've just got to see how it goes. And I do really wish Raya well. I just think, as Phil knows, that we've got this kind of love for Ramsdale, this connection. We've seen Ramsdale grow as a player and a person, and it's been great to see him flourish and do so well. Like last season, to get in a title race was incredible, and I really wanted him to, have that achievement. But I think it's just tough, isn't it, Phil? Because we know how amazing Ramsdale is, and I just want him to win something with us before he ever leaves. And the football away days from a non-Gooner, loving your videos. Keep up the good work. Is it your year in the Champions League? Thank you so much for your lovely comment. I do appreciate it, and I do appreciate you checking out the stream. Obviously in the Champions League, I think we have done pretty well so far, but I know we do have a long way to go. For me, I've said, if we get to the quarterfinals, semi-finals, I would be pretty happy with that. But I do understand that it is a little bit tough, with the teams that are in there, especially Bayern Munich with Kane. He's doing so amazing. I think he scored like 15 goals so far in his time where he's been there. So I do get it is pretty difficult, but just happy to be back in that competition. I'm so happy we don't have to watch Europa League anymore because I was tired of that. I was done with it, really. And if he leaves and goes on to have a great career somewhere else, I will send Arteta for it. I think as well it's hard because, I was thinking about the other day, I was actually thinking about Pepe, and I was thinking, Havertz, we've given him a lot of time here. He's played over 10 games for us, and I saw more from Pepe than I have seen from Havertz, but I just think Havertz does everything right except in front of goal. He just lacks that cutting edge. But the problem is 65 million is so much for me. I just think that is a lot of money. We've paid 100 for Declan Rice, and I think he's actually worth even more than that from what we've seen. He's that leader. He just shows us so much on the pitch, and I just feel like he's been here for years. We've got this connection with Declan Rice. I know how much he values the club. So I think with Havertz, we just need to see him score a goal that isn't a penalty. I did think that penalty would help him to go on and score more goals. Obviously, he is performing really well against Newcastle. People were quite harsh on him, I would say. I think he did good. He was very physical, getting involved in tackles. And obviously, there was a tackle that he was unlucky to get sent off. But I just think we need to see him do more, like in front of goal. That's my only sort of criticism that I would say about that. I don't mind how far we go as long as we play our best and don't get mullered. I agree. I think growing up when I used to watch us in the Champions League, we did get battered a lot, which was pretty sad to watch, and it was just upsetting. So I think this time at least we're making ourselves proud and doing really good performances. That's something that I'm really happy with. I am shouting every time Saka is getting kicked. I have a nephew who is not a lot younger than him. I have an image of him being kicked all the time. Yeah, we do see with Saka quite a lot. It's quite sad really to see him, people, kick him. And I think the reason why people do that is because he's a threat, he's dangerous, and we know what he can do, the type of goals he can score, and he can do some amazing assists and produce some great goals. So it is that, but it's still not fair. I don't think referees give him the protection that he needs, and I don't think people get that, which is really, really quite frustrating. It wasn't Pepe's fault. He was not the player we thought he would be. Pepe was for a lot of money. He wasn't worth the price he paid, but he had some really incredible moments. I feel like he was very inconsistent, but there was always a part of me that believed in him, and I wouldn't say no if I know he's gone now and that ship has sailed, but if Arteta was willing to give him more time, I wouldn't be against it. I still think there's a good player in him. I just think it's hard because when he played a lot, he didn't always perform, but every so often he would. So at least we knew he was able to score. But with Havertz, unfortunately, he's so good at everything. He just needs to get that goal and we'll be right behind him. But I personally am behind him. I think we've just got to see how it goes really from now. So happy to see Spurs' honeymoon is over now for every short and happy marriage. You know what, Phil? I never thought Chelsea would score in that game. I was literally like, Spurs are down to 9 men. Maddison is off. Like, Chelsea, all I need to do is just to score a goal to win it. I was so relieved when they won that. And you know what really annoyed me was the fact that people were talking about how great Spurs were, how great Angie is, and it's clear to see the media do love Angie. And I feel like for me, yes, Spurs have improved, and kudos to them. But you just have to put your hands up and say Spurs are better than what they used to be. And Angie's a good manager. He's quite likable, and I would say that. But what I would say is they have lost 4-1. You can't sit there and say that's a good performance. That's a performance to be proud of because it really isn't. Yes, there's elements where you can say Spurs did well. But, if we lost 4-1, I'm not going to come on here and say I'm proud. I'm going to come here and say I'm really disappointed with how we've lost that game and what we could have done better. And it's clear to see pundits who we definitely know love Spurs and just hates. I feel like Arteta's been made out to be this sort of villain, which he is not. And we know as Arsenal fans what Arteta is. We know Arteta is amazing, and we know that he stood up for us with regards to the referees. And I'm going to say, I do believe Angie's a bit of a hypocrite at times because when he was at Celtic, I think he actually came out to moan about the referee decision. So I can't say that, he's got to have the same energy when it comes to Spurs. And I feel like with what he said about the referees, about him not arguing against it, kind of like he said that to make Arteta look bad in some aspects. At least Arteta's real and he sticks with he says how he feels, and I absolutely respect that from him. So that's my rant about that. I could talk about it all day, honestly. Hello James, lovely to see you on here. Thank you so much for your really kind comment. Smashing it, Sophie. Great result. I'm looking forward to the weekend. I get a win against Burnley. Fingers crossed, James. I think we can do it. Also, what are your guys' score predictions for the weekend? Because I'm feeling quite optimistic about it. I'm not gonna lie. I think we could do it 3 or 4-0. Yep. My love of Saka from the day he was playing left back is immense. I want only one thing for him: playing for a top club in his 30s, even if it's not Arsenal, I'll be okay. You know, if Saka ever left Arsenal, I just don't know what to do. I would have to support him. Like, I just really love Saka. Like, I genuinely love him. I just couldn't imagine him not ever being at Arsenal. But like I said, I would always wish him well, and I hope he can have a statue here one day, like Smith Rowe. I know Smith Rowe's situation's not as good, but I really pray one day it does work out. Was the worst hat trick ever against Chelsea. Do you know what? I didn't actually realise he got a hat trick till after the game because he missed so many chances. But I'm just delighted they beat Spurs. Trossard can replace Jesus as number 9. He gives us more space to Martinelli. Yeah, I think I've said either doing that or playing Havertz up front. Give that a chance. But I think Trossard, we should give that a chance because I've said I think Eddie's a good player and he can score a lot of goals against the lower league teams, but when it comes to other teams, he can't keep that consistency up. And I do think he can score against the big teams because when we played Man United, he did really well and got us that winner. But I think definitely try Trossard up front. Why not? And it's against Burnley, and we shouldn't win that surely. The 19th, and they've not really had a great start either. The loving with Spurs is embarrassing. If we had 2 players sent off, the press would be hammering us. Exactly, Phil. It's an absolute joke. Like, I can't get it over my head. You know what? We know the truth that the media don't like us. And George Graham once said, the media hate us. And, you know, we've just got to accept that. And we've got to annoy them by winning games. We've got to do what's best for us. We've just got to keep up our wins. And, you know, I'm really proud of the team for how they've dealt with it because I know it can be frustrating when the media are on your back a little bit. Hey, Niall, hope you're okay. Definitely a great result for Arsenal. Really comfortable win for sure. We know we are good because people hate us. Exactly, Phil. We've got, like, last season, do you know what I've noticed? When it came down to us, when we were doing really well, I know Spurs fans, United fans, our rivals will be annoyed. But regarding the media, they were moaning at us for over celebrating and other things like that that were so petty. When Spurs over celebrate, do you really see any criticism? No, you don't. It's all about us. When we over celebrate, I don't think you can over celebrate. I think a win's a win, and you just have to. The media don't like us. And do you know what I saw on Twitter today? I was like, I had to tweet Kevin Campbell because Kevin knows it more than anyone else as a player as well, especially playing under George Graham. Sky Sports posted a video of Ben White's own goal now, a week later. Why would you do that? It's clear to see the media are really obsessed with us, and it's quite sad. Hey Richard, hope you're okay. Don't you worry a little bit about these easy games like Burnley this weekend? Make me nervous. I think I've always said no game is easy, but I think this is going to be an easier game than the other fixtures that we'll face. So I'm optimistic we can get that win. But like you said, you can't predict the Premier League, and it always can be difficult. Apart from Rami, our best player won't be leaving. Yeah, let's hope Saka stays forever. I want one game when we score 3-0 in the first 20 minutes before I die. You know, Arsenal never make us relaxed. I really do not think they do. I want us to just have a chilled game where we don't have to be anxious or have a heart attack. Did you know at the start of last season the bookies had Spurs at smaller odds than us of winning the league? That is mad. Definitely don't feel like, you know, they'll do that. I think Spurs this season, like I've said, are much better, but I don't see them winning it personally. I think Thank you so much. I do think that Man City I think I think people have written us off. I do think Man City have a good chance because like last season they were good. And they beat us to it because we fell short at the end. Um don't worry, have a nice sleep. Thank you, Josh, for coming in and hope you have a great rest. I'll probably head off in about 10 minutes. But yeah, Man United cooking season is finally open. Sophie, yes, I'm here for it. You know what? After last season, I thought United would have a much better season. They won a cup, and I thought they're going to improve. And honestly, they've just fallen apart, and I'm here for it. Don't feel sorry for them at all. Obviously, I have United fans online that I do love and respect, but for me, I'm enjoying every moment of this for sure. But yeah, I'll probably stay on for maybe 10 more minutes. If you guys have any questions to ask me while I'm here, I will answer. But I've just enjoyed talking to you guys, to be honest. I do love doing these videos. I reckon once everyone's fit and buzzing, we will be better prepared for running. I think it's obviously hard because our players like Partey is out, Jesus is out, and it's obviously makes things a lot more difficult for us because our midfield really need to produce, stuff for our attackers going forward, like our strikers, and I think that's what makes it more difficult for us to score goals, because if you're not getting a lot of service from the midfield, it's harder to make things happen. But do you think Declan Rice is really good at finding those through balls up to our Saka, Martinelli, and whoever's up front? It won't be interesting to see who does play up front at the weekend. To be honest, I will support whatever Arteta does, but I think, like someone said, playing Trossard up front or Havertz, I'd be happy about that. I think Eddie could do good in this game because, and not to put Burnley down, but they are a lower league team, and I feel like we are the team we should be. Like, going into the game, we are expected to win, of course, but I think any game can be hard in the Premier League, so you never can predict. We drew to Fulham at the start of the season, and you think, looking back, how have we not won that game? But the Premier League is so unpredictable. You just can't really predict these type of games. But I do think we'll have a comfortable win for sure, hopefully. But it's just great to see us doing so well. Yeah, Burnley are nothing without Daesh. Yeah, for sure. I did think Burnley would do much better than what they have this season, but I suppose, it has surprised me. I did think they would be at least in. I think they would have. I did expect them to be in the second half of the table, but I did think they would be well out the relegation zone, which has surprised me that they are there. 4-0, me reckons. I think for me, if we kept a clean sheet and scored a few goals, that'd be delightful. And I'm really happy we did get that clean sheet tonight, because I know we have a habit of scoring a lot of goals, like conceding a lot of goals as well. But I think, like you said, 4 goals would be excellent, because we do really need to keep up with our goal difference. I know Man City, I know we are a few points behind them, but we've got to really keep our goal difference up there, in case it does come to the season and we do need, at the end of the season, and whoever wins is on goal difference. So I think we need to just make sure we keep scoring lots of goals, definitely. But I'd be happy with that, Phil. 4-0 to Arsenal. I think for me, it's just important to win and to keep getting goals in the team, to keep improving. I think that's what really is the most important thing for us going forward. But I do think we've got a run that we can achieve. So I think after Burnley, I'm going to just check the games coming up and talk to you guys a bit about them. But I'm really happy with how we're doing the Champions League, if I'm being honest. And like Phil said, we have Brentford coming up. We've got Lens in the Champions League, Wolves, Luton. It will be interesting to play Luton because they did really well against Liverpool, which really did surprise me. Oh, I know, Phil. It really bores me, The only thing that I like about international break is either if Declan Rice plays, Saka plays. I mean, I know Nketiah's in the squad, but he doesn't really get a lot of game time. So, how long is it on for? Is it a 2-week break, or is it like a 1 week? Because it's really painful to manage for Arsenal. I know I do love watching the Arsenal women's team, so whenever the men's have the international break, it's nice to watch the Arsenal women's team, and they've done really well against Man City. Oh, is it the last one? Thank God for that. I think it's the last one this year, isn't it? I hope so, because I'm really bored. It does bore me. But I know if Saka and Rice are playing, I will go out my way to watch the game, especially. But it's probably predicted that Maguire plays, and Henderson, which is crazy. Yeah, me too. I get what you mean. They do. You know what? If you see Arsenal playing at the weekend, it just gives you this boost of happiness and excitement for the weekend or in the midweek. Yeah, I definitely feel that with you, Phil. It gives me this boost of happiness when I know that Arsenal are playing. I really do hope that we can keep up this winning form going up. I'm just really happy going forward with our win today. But yeah, the lineup will be interesting. I want to know who Arteta's going to put up front, because I feel like, I mean, I don't mind personally because it's against Burnley and I feel like we should win that. But I think I would like him to try something different, probably. Like Trossard, like Havertz, because I do want Havertz to score. I just want him to do so well. And I know that the price tag as well was on him. Like, people will use that against him. But for me, really, really happy. Feeling quite optimistic, if I'm being honest. And yeah, delighted with that win. Oh, not till next March. Thank God for that, because they do bore me. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I hope this international break though isn't too long, because I can't say it really excites me, not watching Arsenal for a little while. But I know I do love the Arsenal women's team, and I do encourage people to watch them because they're a joy to watch. But yeah, fingers crossed, the weekend will do really well. I don't think I could imagine us losing to Burnley or drawing to Burnley. I think we must be bad if we do that, because they've not really had a good start. Richard said, the international breaks allow me to get connected with my family. Turns out I have a wife and 2 daughters. You know what? It's quite funny. The amount of time, you put a lot of effort into the game, but I suppose that's a positive, isn't it, really, to spend that time with your loved ones. But I think football's a break for people from reality. Like, if you have a bad day, a bad week, or if you've got stuff going on in your life, it's nice to have an escape. And I've always felt like football was that for me. Because if you've got a really exhausting week, or if you're going through something in your personal life, you can watch the football at the weekend. And if people go out to the pub or go to games and meet their friends, that's their escape. And when they don't have that, it really is difficult, especially when it was locked down and the football situation was a bit up in the air. It was really nice when it was back on, and it's really difficult. The team really get you through difficult times more than people realise. I have enough emotional problems from watching the men's team without adding to my stress. Yeah, they don't make it easy for us sometimes, for sure. They do give us some hard moments. Is your boyfriend an Arsenal fan? Well, he is now. Well, yeah, he is. I mean, he was never, when I kind of got to know him, he wasn't one of those crazy football fans. Like, he wasn't as passionate as I was, but he's really getting into it now, and he watches most of the games with me, which is nice to do that, have that bond with that person. But yeah, I'm quite lucky that my family do the football. It's nice to have those moments, and yeah, it's really interesting how football can bring people together. I really love that. Football relieves the stress of reality, but often brings the stress of its own. You're definitely right there, Richard does. Football can really give you a lot more stress than people realise. Like, I know people say it's a game of football, but it can be really intense. Like the Chelsea game the other night for Spurs, that really was intense. Like, I just needed Chelsea to win so bad, and it really caused me stress. But yeah, it's nice to hear people's stories on how football means to them, because football really does, make us all happy, even though we face difficult moments in football. My first girlfriend was a West Ham fan, so I went home and away watching the Hammers with her. Oh, that's sweet. At least she wasn't a Spurs fan. I could not imagine being with someone that supported a team I really despised. Football gives me stress. I take my Apple Watch off because it says heart rate is too high. Yeah, I try not to. When I'm watching games, I really try not to get too stressed because I think I can't control the situation, so there's no point me, getting stressed over things I can't control, but it still stresses me out and it's hard to control it. I think especially when it's like really serious games like coming to the end of the season, when last season you wanted it so bad and we just didn't get over the line. Um, it is really hard. It's hard to face those difficult moments because for me, football's a game, but it also gives you some of the best moments. You meet some amazing people through football. Um, I only went out of a Spurs, so thankfully it wasn't a it would be really hard to go out with someone that as the thing is, I see it as, it's all about what you like as a person first and football, but it must be hard really being in the house of people that support a team you really do not like. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? I've been quite fortunate really. But I think being with a United fan as well must be hard because they'd be so depressed with what they're watching right now. It's not nice to see what they're doing. Yeah, it's been a really lovely to chat to you guys. My computer is literally about to die and I can't find my charger, so I better log out in a minute or two. But I have really enjoyed chatting with you guys tonight. It has flown by like that, and I do love doing live videos. Yeah, oh Phil. She was so lovely, but at least it saves a lifetime of arguments. Yeah, that is true. But yeah, to anyone that might be new to my channel, please do smash the like button. Please do subscribe. I'll be back very soon. I'm going to actually try and film some footage. I'm going to the game on Saturday, and I've been invited down, which is really nice. So I will have a few things to do. I'll try and film and get my boyfriend in the video. So yeah, I'll be back then. But fingers crossed we can get that win at the weekend. I do appreciate you all coming in, checking my channel out and checking my video out and chatting to me. It's been really enjoyable and I do love you all and it's grateful to do this and I love chatting to you guys. But I hope you all enjoy the rest of your evening. As always, it's been a pleasure to chat to you all and I shall see you all very soon. Bye, take care.